So hello guys, my name is Shubhankar Mishra and last week we learned Python, but today we're going to be learning Unity with C Sharp. So as you guys all know, I guess you guys know what Unity is. It's basically a game engine through which we can make games, and it's pretty amazing. I've been doing this for a while, and by a while I mean about like year or so, and this has gotten really amazing, and I just want to share my experiences with you. And in this series I'll teach you how to make a simple game with simple movement, a collision detection, and some C sharp scripting, basic game scripting. So to get started, you should go to www.unity.com. Over here you should go over here and then log in. As you can already see, I have logged in over here, and then click on get started, and then you can have to click on individual unless you can pay these, and because these are pretty costly. If you can't, then go to individual and go to personal. After going to personal, if you already know a little bit of Unity, you can go over here. If you're first time, if you haven't if you haven't even known what Unity is, you should go over here, start here, agree and download, and now wait for Unity Hub to be downloaded. Okay guys, so Unity is now downloaded, and now we should click on this over here. When we click on this, it gives me a command prompt over here. You should click on yes, and then it will show you a pop-up like this over here, a license agreement. Should, if you want, you can read this because I won't. And just let's just click on agree, and you can install it wherever you want. You can just go over here and just think of where to install it. You can install it over here, anywhere. I'm just installing what is written over here, program files. Now install it. Now wait for it to get installed. It takes a little bit of time, but we should have patience, right? And now Unity is downloaded. Now we should, if you want, you can run it. I'll just finish it over here, and now it should come in a pretty short amount of time. Okay guys, so Unity has come, and now as you guys can see, I have already made a project over here. And to make a new project, no, before making a new project, you should go to here, install, and you should add an install version. You can install any one of these. I've installed the 20.1.6, and you should install any of these, otherwise you can't make a game. So install it and then go to over here, new, and then click on 3D, or yeah, let's go for 3D first, and let's click create. Hello guys, Shubhankar Mishra here, and now as you guys can see, Unity has loaded, and now we can start our game making. So let's first start with the things in Unity, the objects. As you can see, there's a scene over here, there's a game over here, hierarchy, project, console, and an inspector. I'll get over all of these in an orderly wise. Let's first start with scene. The scene is basically where we make our game, where we can edit our stuff. The game view is where we can see the player's perspective, and we can't edit anything over here. The hierarchy is basically where we can make the game objects, and we can edit their properties, and we can edit their properties in the inspector, not on the hierarchy. The project is basically where we store our assets such as materials, physics materials, scripts, etc. And the console is where it shows the errors of our scripts. To get started, let's first make a ground plane over here. To do that, let's right click, 3D object, and cube. And you can also do this by going over here, 3D object, cube. And now when I click on this cube, you guys can see that the inspector shows a transform, a cube, mesh renderer, and the box collider. So the transform is basically shows the position, the rotation, and the scale of the player or the object. The transform is basically the position, the position is basically we can edit this in, like, we can edit this on the x-axis, which is horizontal, y is vertical, and z is basically forward. And to make this ground plane, let's just increase it on the x-axis, let's say by 10, and let's just increase it on the z-axis, let's say about 100. And now when I zoom out, guys, you can really see how big this is. And let's just get this camera to the center. We can't see anything over here, so let's just stick it a bit up and a bit back. And you can just hit F to focus on it. There we go. Now let's just get a little bit more back over here, so it's at the starting. And now let's make the player. And before making the player, let's just rename this ground, GROUND. And now right click over here, 3D object, cube, and let's name this player. Let's get this a little bit down so that it touches the ground, but it's not floating like this. Let's just get a little bit more down over here so that it does not go under it or it's not floating. And now as you guys can see, this looks pretty bland, and the cube blends in with the backgrounds, with the ground. So to make a material, you can just go to create, right click, create, and material over here. You can rename this whatever you want. I'm gonna name it player material, player mat, PLAYERMAT. And now we can just give this whatever color we want. So let's just give this a pretty bright red. And now to add this, we can just go to over here, just add this to the player over here. We can go over here and we can see it in real-time effect. And now when I run this, you guys can see that there's not really much happening because we haven't added any coding yet over here, any programming. So it won't do anything. And let's just get over with the physics part first. So the physics in Unity is basically the physics in real life. So for example, if the cube is floating mid-air, it'll fall down. But when I run this, it's not falling down. That's because we haven't added any physics yet. To add physics, let's go to add component in the player inspector. Go to physics. Let's go to rigid body over here and add rigid body, not rigid body 2D. When we add the rigid body, we can see the player falling down, and this is happening because now the rigid body so this rigid body makes this player object a real game object, and it's not just there. So for example, when I add this over here, 3D object, cube, another one over here, it's a little bit up, that, and now let's get this a little bit higher. Now let's get this a bit on the side. Now when I run this, you guys can see how this goes down and the effect it has, the rigid body has on this player game object. And now when I disable the game object by just right click and removing it, you guys can see that nothing will happen, and they both will just float like that. So make sure to add the rigid body. And now let's just so that's what we are going to be learning for today. So what did we learn today? We just basically learned the things in Unity, objects, how to make a game object, adding materials, and adding basic physics to our game object. So this is what we're going to be learning for today, and next time I'm going to teach you some more basic physics and some player movement script.